It's Blackburn leading 3-3-21, 11-point advantage at quarter time. Mackenzie up against Banks. Mackenzie's got the height, but the leap of Banks gets over the top. Umpire off the side of the square sees an infringement, and he'll give the free kick to Doncaster, and Narcus seem to be held off the contest and will take the free kick at the centre of Moreton Park. He puts it long and into the direction of Kalange, who finishes up being in the back, but it falls to him. He grabs it, the spoil, the smother comes in as he tries to put foot to the ball, and Blackburn are good to rush it out. There's that man Faulkner, who's a sweeper. The umpire will give some aid to the Burners by finding a free kick for a push in the back behind Faulkner when he kicked it. So it's going to be a free kick taken, well, slightly upfield, but at the back 50, it will be in the hands of Gray. Still learning to adjust my attention to the number changes, but Gray has got the ball at half back. Puts it long to Hammond, who's jostling for position. McGarnis is there to spoil at ground level. Blackburn are fighting for the ball through the skipper Content. Van der Haar picks it up close to the line, but a whistle is blowing. It might be another off the ball free kick, and it will go the way of the Sharks. So from half-back, Anarchis has got again. So he's getting closely attended to, is Anarchis. He goes into the middle of the ground, finds Magarnis. Magarnis looks at his options. He's got Anarchis to skirt around his back, get the ball off him, and he goes from one flank to the other, almost backwards to Hardwick. Hardwick has been now late challenge as he kicks it to half forward. The spoil was effectual, and it's been picked off by Dorian, who kicks it over the top. 15 metres in advance, it goes to Murphy. Murphy off to the runner. The runner in Hart drives it long inside 50. Players go up for the ball. Ground level, Baffy going for a dribbler from 30 metres out, puts it to the teeth of the goal, but he misses slightly to the left as the bounce of the ball didn't suit. 3-4-22. It's a two-goal lead to Blackburn.
Their leg speed's a bit of a worry as well, isn't it, Blackburn? They're just, apart from Anarchis, they haven't got genuine leg speed at the moment out there.
That's
Doncaster.
where Cooper would have been handy, I reckon.
So Hartwick's short kick, and still deep in their own 50 here, Doncaster. They trail by 11 points here at Moreton Park. The kick comes back now to Hartwick. He switches it down the other side of the ground, and the mark taken outside there by Marganis. His short kick in there finds Leibelt, and he plays on quickly, turns the corner, kick into the centre of the ground there to Whelan. He looks upfield. Intended target there is Alessi, couldn't take the mark. Ball on the deck, the hand pass comes out now here to Marr. Marr, he lost possession in that contest. Wrapped up there is Hall, he's not going anywhere. Strong tackle applied by Danaher, and we'll have a ball up on the 50 here for Doncaster.
Oh, there's off the ball. This time it's against Anarchis, but he was getting harassed big time by Murphy, and he just fought him off, and the umpire saw the free kick.
So he draws the free inside his own 50. Here it is Murphy. Now he kicks this one out to the far side. Intended target there is Hammond of the Nathan variety. He moves out down to the far side of the wing and kicks it up towards the half-forward flank. Contested footy. No one can take hold of it. Ball ends up on the deck. Jake Hammond in there, and as is Coman, and we'll have a ball up on the 50.
Real big responsibility this year for Anarchis being named the sole captain the other night, of course. Matt Schimmelbusch standing aside, who's actually on the coaching panel this year. So he's getting a bit frustrated out there, of course, with the attention that he must be receiving.
Tout with a high up and under, straight up and under, and that one bounces through. Hart there for Blackburn. He gets tackled. Anarchis tries to soccer off the ground. Thorpe manages to get it out. Hart's in there again there for Blackburn. And a contested footy. 4 players in there. We'll have another ball up. With 4 minutes played, it's 3-4-25. Blackburn leading Doncaster 1-4-10 on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard.
I'm seeing a potential issue with Doncaster already. A lack of a key centre half forward.
Yep.
Could be hurting them too here.
A strong tackle applied there by Tyler Faulkner. And we'll have another ball up.
As I say, they've got some very good, 6'2" half-forward flankers, but no one that's that really big target, have they?
No.
Conton tries to burst through the pack, and there's 4 other players in his way. And we'll have another ball up.
Davo, we saw Greg Jarvis just before. He would have been handy on a day like today. That means Mackenzie can move up forward as a tall target, and Jarvis can ruck.
Exactly.
So Mackenzie wins the tap over his head, tries to get it forward of this stoppage, but it is a large amount, a lot of numbers around the ball. It's about 10 on each side, so it's going to take a quick kick out of the pack to get it away from this scrimmage. So that's what tried by Hart, but his ball got smothered by the numbers. Eventually Blackburn kick it forward to centre forward. Running with the flight of the ball is Rambaldi. He gets tackled as soon as he grabs it, so it flings back towards Blackburn's goals. Where first to pick it up is Malloy, but now he's under a heap of pressure. Does nicely, gets it out to Rambaldi, who charges his way out of defence. Kicks it long to Conway, who sort of jump wasn't in line with the ball, but he's there to take a hand pass as he runs through the wing. He puts a hopeful ball forward of the runner, and the runner's Alessi from 40, stretches himself. He had time to assess his options and steady for goal. And Lumachisi was saying, I'm standing on the goal line with no one around me, kick it to me, but he kicked it on the full.
I think the worst thing was he had Anarka standing next to him, that if you want someone to finish the game, give it to him.
Well, he should have finished it. He had no pressure.
There's Thorpe. Oh, he was taken high. He's won himself a free. Well, off to the races there was Lawler. And, well, not in the opinion of the umpire. And, well, we're going to have take 3 on that free kick as Thorpe tried to go at himself. And he'll take the free kick here on the half-back flank, far side of the ground now here for Blackburn. Week 1 of the EFL here on 98.1 Eastern FM or streaming around the world, efl.org.au, as this one put in towards the centre wing area. Contested footy there by Rambaldi. He spoils it over the line and we'll have a boundary throw in.
I don't think they'll be happy with that, because they had a number of players, Blackburn, that have pushed down deep. The 2 little chips across ground would have opened it all up, and they've gone into a congested area. So I think it was a poor choice of kick, that one.
So Mackenzie to do the rucking against Banks. He's been good in the ruck so far this afternoon, I thought. As Fogarty dives in there for Doncaster, he can't get out of it. And we'll have a ball up.
I see that Doncaster are getting more numbers around the stoppages. First quarter, they were conceding the numbers around the contest, and at least they had the defence set up for it, but this time it's more of a one-on-one competition.
And Arcus doing the roading was held with outs, and he's got himself a free kick.
I reckon the problem is with that, Gav, is the fact that you can win all the stoppages you like, but you've got to have someone. Down at your key forward post to direct the ball to when you're running through your midfield and along the flanks.
And that's why Blackburn didn't kick more than 3 goals, because they just didn't have that last pass open.
So we just had a 25-metre penalty just behind that stoppage. Quick kick in short, finds Sochio. And, well, that was chopped off, and Blackburn start the build-up from their half-back line. Here comes the kick.
There's been a report back here.
Oh, we've had something off the ball.
Yes.
A yellow card. And, well, Blackburn, that's
looks like,
one way to snuff out your momentum.
Is that Reid? 21?
Yep, that's Jason Reid going off the ground. Didn't see what that was for.
17.
17, that's Banks. So they're without a ruckman.
Well, the Banks have had a hard time in the last year. Get cop a lot of criticism, and then they go and do this.
We're going to need a Royal Commission into that one-liner, Gav.
Some of your best work there, Gav.
Are you for real?
Yeah, used it up far too early, Gav. Used it up far too early.
So it's quarter 2 of game 1 of the EFL season. But Doncaster are going to have a set shot.
I'll set Robin on, dear.
From about 40
Turnbull's
metres
not
out.
the umpire, that's for sure.
Here's Mackenzie. His kick is a good one, straight through the middle. And that's the second goal of the afternoon there for Doncaster. They are 2-4-16. They trail by 6. Blackburn 3-4-22. 8.5 gone here, second term.
Well, you would say that Doncaster are just hanging in there, because even though we're criticising them for not taking opportunities, Blackburn have had quite a lot of the football and they haven't hurt them.
Well, look, Doncaster will be pretty happy at the moment, because they've not been able to get their game going, and yet they've been able to keep within a goal.
Let's go down to Matt Fodia.
Yeah, so Mackenzie's definitely getting in the heads of some of the Blackburn defenders. Banks was, I believe, striking him there behind the play, and now he's still going down there at Nathan Hammond. And so watch out for Mackenzie. He's starting a little bit off the ball.
Fogarty sharked the ruck contest, but he was quickly harassed off the ball, and Blackburn get the ascendancy back. Hammond was held as he went for the ball at centre forward, so he kicks it long. Flying contest. Baffy was in the back position, so he brought it to ground. Where Blackburn trying to get creative as they tunnel the ball and get it back into the corridor, where Lawler is wrapped up, and Doncaster hold strong in defence through Fogarty.
I'm happy to see that they've got Mackenzie down at full forward. At least it gives them a big target to kick the ball down to.
I agree, and the one thing about Doncaster is they're going to be tough all day.
Yep.
They're not going to take a backward step at all.
The umpire slowing things down, wants to wrestle control away from the niggle. At ground level, who can grab the ball? It's a hot contest at half forward for Blackburn. Eventually they spoon a hand pass into the corridor. picked up by Ma, gets his hand pass forward. Ma goes in again. He has to jump over and try to elude the tackles. Again, it falls to ground where Doncaster are surging onto the ball, but they can't get out of the congestion, and Blackburn are in for the contest as well, so wrapped up.
The last 5 minutes, the tackling intensity has really gone up from both sides. Neither side are getting an easy ball here.
So it's a ball up 60 metres around from the goal of Blackburn, trying to get his way through. Danaher just hand passes it to the boundary side, hoping he's got a player on the outside, but no avail, and the ball just gets killed and out of bounds 45 metres around from Blackburn's goal.
So 10 and a half gone, approaching the halfway mark here this second quarter. There's Blackburn with a 6-point lead over Doncaster in round one of the EFL. And Arcus trying to do the roving there. It was, I think someone tried to go Ronaldo style off the ground. I believe that was Socio.
You better be careful. We're going to be ahead there.
Yeah. And a ball up on the 50. The tap one down now here by Blackburn. Swooping on it was Danaher. He was tackled there by Schimmelbusch, and we'll have a ball up.
Just one-on-ones all over the ground at the moment.
The ball on the deck. Danaher again trying to bust through. He gets tackled there by Saville. And ball up number 3 in about 20 seconds here on the 50-metre line.
And this probably suits Doncaster more than it does Blackburn. But in this case, but Doncaster have to make them pay if they're going to get the game on their terms like this.
Anarchis tries to kick off the ground. Ball loose. Several players going in there. One of them being Mackenzie Dorian, and that one, he ends up on the bottom of that pack, and we'll have yet another ball up. So into the ruck now goes Socio. He wins it straight up and puts it straight up into the air. One-on-one contest. Hammond knocks it down onto the boot there. Bathy, he puts one. He's put it through. Well, Bathy is second of the afternoon. Blackburn's fourth. They lead 4-4-28. Doncaster 2-4-16. 12 minutes gone in the second quarter.
Well, Blackburn makes something out of nothing there, really.
Yeah.
I mean, the play the last 5 minutes has been really tough and inside, and just a little opportunity there in the forward pocket just allowed Blackburn to take a little bit of an advantage, and Ryan Bathy basically took advantage of it and got a goal.
And good sides do that, don't they? They make something out of nothing, particularly good players, and we know how great Ryan Bathy has been.
Yep.
Doncaster will be very disappointed, though, because they thought they were getting the momentum back a little bit their way.
Rucks go at it. Mackenzie does well, but at ground level, it's the roving from the player in grey who gets it long inside 50, but it's been free kick or marked paid to the defence of Doncaster. So the kick goes out to Conway, who might have a teammate getting in his way. Late there was Whelan, so Conway didn't finish up going for the mark, and the spoil was allowed to come in front of those two. And out of bounds it goes from that punch. Half forward now for Blackburn, 70 metres around from their goals. Just a bit of cohesion, finding their way out of defence is affecting Doncaster. Again, Mackenzie gets the front position, wins the tap down, but has to be doing his own work at ground level, and he's jumped upon and be a ball up. So I wonder how long Mackenzie can go alone in the ruck.
Yeah, well, I think the other thing is that they're just not getting, when Anarchis goes forward like he's at the moment, they've got no one to get the ball at the bottom of the pack either.
So the kick goes Blackburn's way. Hammond drops it as soon as he's tackled. The umpire says play on as the pack jump on it. Hammond was first to get it top of the ball, but he's at the bottom of the sandwich. And it'll be a ball up 60 metres from goal. You can see Mackenzie just sucking it in big time with his hands on his knees. He just gets up in time and stretches his body out before the ball up. Holds his ground, wins the tap as the other ruckman just jumped too early. Again, the ground level ball is a hard contest. Tackle flies in and Turner holds ground on the wing. So Blackburn just losing a bit of ground there. Doncaster try to win the tap out of Mackenzie's hands, but they're not roving off him too effectually. There was Lawler, and closer line, he gets it towards Reed, but he's over and out just forward of centre wing. As this is a game of inches, it's really just a contest of strength for the moment. And it's going to test all characters around it. Getting to the front position, there was Watkins.
This just shows you no amount of practice games can replace the hardness of a home and away game.
Compton wins the free kick over the shoulder, gets it off to the runner, and Ma loads up a kick close to the boundary line. Bit of a wobbler, but it suited his teammate, who took a chest mark 40 metres out boundary side, as Hammond was potentially the leading option. But it's now in the hands of the teammate there in Danaher, who went forward of the contest and took a mark 40 metres out.
That was luck of fortune there. That kick just dropped, Donkey dropped, and he just happened to be in the right place at the right time.
So Danaher is a left footer. He's going to have to go the width of the ground. It's going to take a tough kick. He has beautifully kicked it. The goal umpire didn't move. He just steadied himself as the ball floated over his head. And Danaher puts goal number 5 on the board for Blackburn. 5-4, 34, 3-goal lead to the Burners. Halfway through the second quarter, Doncaster 2-4, 16.
Look, I just think structurally they're being hurt at the moment with Doncaster not having enough people helping out their stars. So Anarka's got to go back in the middle again. They're just not getting enough people getting their hands on the football to get the ball out and getting into their forward line quickly enough. And he's got to go in there and he's going to get roughed up again.
It's robbing Peter to pay Paul, isn't it? Of course, with Mackenzie in the ruck there, he's sucking in the breath. Clearly he's struggling. They don't have a second ruckman out there, and he's been resting deep forward, but they need him deep forward, like a tall target up there permanently.
And here's Mackenzie with the footy now. Tried to get a hand pass out. No progress made by anyone. And Willen ends up with a footy, but will end up with a ball up.
And I think with all these new players in Doncaster, especially some of the young guys, just a little bit of lack of experience as well.
Well, Watkins has gone into the ruck now for Blackburn with Banks off the ground thanks to that yellow card. Here comes the kick now into the direction of Conway. Almost took a pretty good grab on the bounce. And he gets a bit of a shove, loses the footy in the contest. It's a hand pass over the top there from Lawler. He finds his teammate now here in Xavier Murphy. Kicks in towards full forward. It's a one-on-one. Mackenzie, Dorian there couldn't take the mark. Loose footy. And the hand pass, looking there for Malloy. Dorian turns around, fires one in towards the goal square, and it's rushed over the line by Rambaldi. Good work there from Dorian. He's had quite the game so far. And just the minor score there for Blackburn. 5-5-35. They lead Doncaster 2-4-16. 17 minutes gone.
Just a classic on there. Conway fumble. Ball gets turned over.
Here goes Anarkas through the middle of the ground. It's a flood going forward now as the runners go with the flow of the ball. It's just an elusive bounce for Coman. So he has to beat 2 off before he hand passes forward. Now Kalanj has got it. He's been wrapped up in a tackle. Watkins will call for ball, but the umpire will say, give it to me. It's held into the contest. And it was the long kick out from Rambaldi. He didn't waste time. He was lucky that it fell to Anarkas at the back of the square. His kick suited Coman until the bounce of the ball just went sideways. Coman doing the ruck at ground level. Again, it's kicked out of defence by Gray. He gets it a half-back. Danaher picks it up, kicked the last goal. He gets the hand pass towards Lawler, who leaves it behind when he bent over it. Just knew there was some attention around the corner, that being Mackenzie. Mackenzie pushes Lawler off and says, I was there.
And he's one guy that has to lift. Nick Coman, hardly been in the game. Now they've got him at full forward. He can play in the ruck as well, so they're going to need him this afternoon.
Again, Mackenzie wins the tap. Ground level, Doncaster do get a quick kick, but it doesn't go inside 50. So Blackburn repel temporarily. Schimmelbusch's kick is nearly marked by Mackenzie, but being 2 metres away from the kicker, he wasn't going to mark that one. And it's bounced off his chest out of bounds.
I think Coman's got to go to the ruck to give Mackenzie a rest.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Has to happen. He can't afford to be doing it like...
Lumachese, if that was seen, he'd be sent off. It was a shy of a punch, and if it connected, he would have seen daylight. Wouldn't have seen daylight for a while.
Would have seen yellow lights.
Yeah, so they're having a laugh about it now is Luke Parker, but if the punch wasn't pulled, he would have been knocked out.
So, 18 and a half gone here. Second quarter approaching time on, and in comes the tap there from Mackenzie, trying to find his teammate. That was a kick there from Murphy. Ends up with Fogarty. Quick hands, finds Anarkas. Snap around the ball, into towards the goal scare. 4 players contesting. It's touched over the line. Would have been the goal of the day there from Anarkas. But Nathan Hammond's hand being the difference between the 1 point and the 6. 5-5-35, Doncaster 2-5-17.
Oh,
what's your opinion, boys?
Well,
we're at a good line on that. That's a goal, in my
That's
opinion.
Dave Parker behind the goals, isn't it? He knows his stuff.
Yep.
Oh, no, it's not Dave Parker's up the other end, but
I reckon that was
it looked
close.
like a goal to me.
It was close.
So the kick back the other way to the half-forward line. And on the attack now, here are the Burners. Lawler has the footy. His hand pass over the top finds his teammate there in Gray. He loses the footy. And ends up back with the Sharks. They kick out towards them. Looking for the direction of Mackenzie. Went over his head. Anarchis tried to get a handball out. Mackenzie wrapped up there by Murphy. And we'll have a ball up on the centre wing here, broadcast side.
Normally you have the luxury, Brett, of being able to rest your ruckman off the boundary line, but Coleman has to play forward, and he'll have to swap with Mackenzie to give him a break, and that's how they're going to have to play it all day.
We've got a free kick here going the way of the Burners, I think, for
Fogarty.
a high tackle. No, it's going the Ice Sharks, excuse me.
He's had a good game, Fogarty. He's been in and under.
And Fogarty's short kick and just into the waiting hands there of Saville on the centre wing area, so that's Alessi. He took the mark there in front of Watkins. His kick now in towards half forward. A one-on-one contest. Lumachisi going back with the flight. Kalanja's in there as well for the Sharks, and the ball ends up under a scrum. We'll have a ball up.
Now I agree with tagging, but I just watched then Anarchis, and they had someone that basically pushed him to the boundary line, 30 metres off the ball. Like just kept pushing him to the boundary line. Well, that's got to be a free kick.
And there's Anarchis there, puts one straight up and under.
It's got to be play on.
And well, punched down eventually there by Young. And a hand pass out there by Hart. He finds his teammate there in Socho. Did well to get the kick away after he's been tackled by two Sharks players. And away comes Bathy. His kick now up towards full forward. And well, did well. There did Rambaldi. But it comes straight now here to Thorpe. And well, another great effort there. I believe that play was Schilbush. And he gets the smother off the boot, and it goes out over the boundary line.
It's an interesting point you made, Davo, earlier about Doncaster turning it over at half forward, or Blackburn getting possession at half back and just being able to transition so well up forward. This is another case of that.
Yeah.
Mackenzie wins the tap out. Ground level, Sochio's kick was Scrubber as he was taken off the ball with a tackle, so it's been marked in defence by Doncaster. They'll transition through the middle of the ground, getting underneath it. There was Turner. He lost the flight of it a bit, so it allows Blackburn with the numbers just to get it on board to Thorpe. Thorpe hands it into the corridor, hoping to get the runner going. But it was too fierce, and it's a turnover for Doncaster. On the outer side now, Hall's got it. He drives it to centre forward. Did he really look? But coming in late was Coleman. It falls to Kalanj from 55. Loads up all the way. It's a goal. Big goal from Kalanj. If Lumachisi was there for the mark on the goal line, but a big goal from Doncaster, and there's a man on the ground for Blackburn at 5-5-35. 2-goal lead for Blackburn. Big goal by Kalanj, and we might get an injury report as well, guys.
Actually, they needed that goal, Doncaster.
And they needed the goal in the way. That's what Coleman needs to do. I mean, I don't like to see another player hurt, but there was a legitimate one-on-one contest where he's got the bulk, he hit it at speed, and he crashed a small pack, and they got the transference from it. So he's got to do that.
Yeah, Dunn's not well, but we'll go to our boundary side for further comment.
Yeah, it's Michael Dunn. He looks like he's up on his feet now at the moment. He's walking off, and Banks is just inquiring whether he can go back on. So Adam Banks is warming up to go back on the ground, and Dunn looks like he's going to take his place, but I wouldn't be surprised if he came straight off just to assess his head.
So the ruck one down now here by the Sharks, and in comes Anarchis, shakes one tackle, puts it straight high up and under. Murphy's sitting under it, and he takes the mark, gets dumped after it there by Tout, but the mark paid, and he'll go back inside his own 50 and look for an outlet. 23 minutes played now here in the second term here at Moreton Park, and this one swung out wide and into the waiting hands here of Jordan Hart. He swings around and puts a kick up to a vacant centre wing area. In pursuit there is Hammond. Did well to take that on the mat and takes a bounce of it himself. In pursuit there is Rambaldi. Hammond's kick in towards the car park and out on the full.
That's where it went. Went to the car park.
And I'm glad I'm not parked over there as I didn't renew my insurance in time. 23 minutes gone. And let's go down boundary side of Brett Bested.
Well, it's just a bit weird about the conditions down here. It's not really favouring either side because it is blowing across. We're getting a bit more wind down here. It's quite gusty, but it sort of gets up quite strongly. But as I say, coming really straight across the ground.
Thanks, Bet, as Monks there won the footy. Comes out now here to Hart. His handball to Danaher. Kicked around the body. A loose footy, and it's gathered in here by the Burners. A hand pass over the top. Good tackle applied by Fogarty. It's taken here by Bathy. Tried to shape one too many. And holding the ball says the umpire, Schimmelbusch.
Yeah,
had
to be pinged there, didn't take the first option.
As the kick now in the direction of Hall, going back with the flight of the footy. Here's Murphy for Blackburn, got bumped off it. And a turnaround kick there from Young, up towards half forward, and a good one. And finds Great. His hand pass now here to Bathy. He goes over the top now onto his teammate Lawler, takes a shot and centres the footy instead. And Hammond with a great mark dead in front, and he'll go back from about 20 metres out and look to add to Blackburn's total.
I reckon I reckon we've got to give Murphy credit here, because even he took the tackle but was able to still shield the ball for a Blackburn runner to come from behind and pick the ball up and create an opportunity for his further down the field for his teammates.
Yeah, I thought Alessi and Turner here were pretty poor. They were running with the contest. They didn't bother to look after each other. A turnover, and as we said before, transition down the ground pretty quickly.
As Hammond has put it straight through, well, nearly straight through, nearly to the other side. That's his second of the afternoon. It's Blackburn 6, 6:5:41. They lead Doncaster 3:5:23. 25 minutes gone in the second term.
Well, that hurts in the shadows of half-time, doesn't it? Doncaster got that goal back just before, and it just broke the momentum, but can swing back at any time.
And Murphy, I feel, has had a really good game off the half-back and wing. He hasn't done too much wrong. He's provided great run.
He was lucky Tout was the one who could have cleaned him up. If it was Anarchis, he probably would have gone through him the way he's feeling about the attention Murphy's given him all day. But in the middle of the ground, Doncaster couldn't get a clearing kick out of the stoppage, so it just goes to centre forward, whereas the contest, Anarchis is in there. Has to be the tackler. It flies out towards Socio. Or the back of the pack, it's Hart from the back of the square.
He's been
gets
busy.
It in the middle.
Yeah, good off the half.
And they're going to have some runners here. Cotton's in the middle of the chain. He gets onto the left boot. His kick was hurried. The defender got in good position for Doncaster, and they repel the attack quickly. Go through to centre back to centre forward. Eludes Anarchis on the bounce. Picked up on the run there by the Blackburn player who's harassed off the ball. There now, Anarchis just gets onto a running hand pass, and there Lumachisi couldn't pick it up as he sort of had to smother it in the goal square off his hands. Blackburn conceded behind, so it's a 17-point game. Blackburn 41, lead Doncaster 24.
That's surprising from Anarchis. I thought he should have been able to have a shot from there.
Hood's kick out of the back pocket towards centre wing, and well, that's the no siren, so he had the cowbell instead. And that does it for the first half of footy here at Moreton Park. 6:5:41, Blackburn leading Doncaster 3:6:24.
Well, and very entertaining first half for the first game of the 2018 season.